Hello guys, welcome back to the channel people. Welcome back to Rally as well. Thank you guys so much for being here. You know what I mean? Thank you guys for being here. We're here again. We're here again. We have some unfinished business that we need to deal with. You know what I mean? Pretty much unfinished. When I say unfinished, unfinished business that we need to deal with. We had start some conversation earlier on about transfer, and we're gonna finish that conversation today. But before we go ahead with the transfer situation, we have to talk about um, the games that just finished. The game that just finished. Mexico, the co-host nation, has qualified for the Run of 32 with maximum win from three. So they had 9 points. So they qualify as top of the group. The surprise package to me in all of this was the fact that we have South Africa qualifying as the second place finisher of this group. That is a fantastic achievement for South Africa. That is a fantastic achievement for South Africa. People remember this is the same South Africa that when host the football, this same World Cup football competition in their own yard, did not make it from the group stage. This time around, they did away from home. So, big up, maximum respect to South Africa for the achievement that they have managed to achieve today. You know what I mean? Big. It's a big thing, people. It's a big thing. You know what I mean? You could see it from their celebration. They celebrated, they party. You know what I mean? They party. Bafana was at it today. You know what I mean? And it was a fantastic achievement by the South Africans to qualify as second place finishers to the round of 32 behind the host nation, Canada. So big up South Africa on their achievement. They beat Korea. They managed to beat Korea 1-0. So that was a fantastic achievement all by itself. All right, people, we want to talk about football today. Our topic was on transfer. The transfer window has been open for a while now, and every single team has been dipping in this transfer market. Every team except the likes of Arsenal. Arsenal is yet to make one single transfer. The transfer situation that Arsenal have been going on with are those that are off the field situation, especially with the medical staff. That's where we seem to be getting all the necessary things done. We need to see some transfer on the football field. Big up Liam, big up yourself, Liam. Liam said hi. We need to see some transfer going on the field. You know what I mean? They have changed the medical doctor. They have changed the physiocist. A lot of change have been going on in the backroom staff, but not one single signing has been done since the window has opened. But guess what? We're not short of being linked to players. We've been linked to players left, right, and center all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. We've been linked to so much players. I mean, like, our budget must be large. So Arsenal has been linked to players right through. And one of the discussion that we had earlier on with the link that we have to Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez, everybody knows Julian, right? Julian Alvarez is Atletico Madrid, magnificent striker, right? Magnificent striker. And I say magnificent, he's a phenomenal talent, right? And he made a statement that he wants out of Atletico Madrid. Well, obviously, as we said earlier on, they might have a deal that he could have leave, and so the situation. The only thing that was not decided was the destination that he would have gone. Atletico Madrid is adamant that they will not sell Julian to none of the clubs in Spain, especially the two clubs of Real Madrid and Barcelona, especially Real Madrid and Barcelona. In the likes of Barcelona, that's where it is all going down right now. So Atletico Madrid say he can have a transfer, he can leave, but he's not going to Barcelona. He goes to Barcelona on one condition. Barcelona have to pay the release clause of the player. And trust me, people, that release clause is very hefty. We're talking about a 500 million. I mean, like, I don't even know why a player would sign a release clause like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why a player would sign a release clause like that. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. It's like you lose all your power when you sign a release clause like that. You know what I mean? So that makes no sense in the beginning to even sign a release clause that said, hey, guess what? If a club want me, they have to pay 500 million for me. Who gonna pay 500 million for a player? You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna pay 500 million for a player. Come on. You could get 7 players with that. Top players too. You know what I'm saying? So the conversation is pretty much dead. Once they mention that release clause, and they're adamant that they're not selling Alvarez to Barcelona. In so that we have had links to Arsenal. Arsenal have been waiting in the background, as I mentioned earlier on, and I don't understand why. It is a situation where Arsenal have decided, since Mikel Arteta take over, that we are no longer a banter club, we're no longer a smart club, and we only want players that want us. I don't know, and I don't understand the links with Julian Alvarez if that is the situation, because Julian Alvarez is interested in one club and one club only, and that is Barcelona. So the fact that Julian Alvarez is interested in Barcelona and Barcelona only tends to make me kind of think and wonder, why is it that Arsenal is still right there in the running for Alvarez if Arsenal is not his first destination? And to make matters worse, the speculation, the rumors that are going around is that Julian Alvarez is set to Atletico Madrid wants a swap deal. And the swap deal that Atletico Madrid want, people, is with none other than Victor Gunman Gyökeres, G14, right? Y'all remember G14, right? G14 moved mountain last season to be a part of this Arsenal system, to be a part of this Arsenal squad. He moved mountain to make sure he gave up a part of his salary. Pretty much he made some down payment on himself just to make sure that he joined Arsenal Football Club. His reward was granted. He had joined Arsenal Football Club. Now he is he's a part of the English champion. You know what I mean? But I mentioned that to say this. Why would Arsenal want to give up a player that actively want to be a part of Arsenal Football Club for a player that is unwilling to come to Arsenal Football Club and if he does, it might be through a forced system just because he wants out of the club that he's at. Makes no sense at all to me. No sense. Big up WH in the building, WH Riley. I don't want Alvarez if he doesn't want us, and I agree with you totally. And I would never take a swap deal with Gyökeres. I totally agree with you as well. We're on the same page right now, man. I mean, like, we are on the same exact page right now. Take Trossard and Jesus, but not Victor Gyökeres. You can take both of them for the one, as far as I'm concerned, and still get some cash. You know, even take Martinelli. No. Back up right there. No. Martinelli heart belongs to Arsenal. And it hurts me every single time. Even me myself said sometime that Martinelli needs to leave. Martinelli doesn't want to go anywhere. Martinelli is a part of Arsenal. Arsenal is his home. You know what I mean? It's almost like a kid that grows up in the academy. You know what I mean? Almost. That's how he considers himself. He's home. Arsenal is where he belongs. You know, and I listened to him in the interview the last time and they were questioning him about his contract and Arsenal, and he said it again, and he said he'll keep on repeating. He don't want to go anywhere. Arsenal is his home. Arsenal is his family. And all Arsenal needs to do is just give him a pen. That's it. He said all they need to do is just give him a pen and he will sign. You know what I mean? And that's a player that loves the club. You know what I'm saying? And these are the kind of players that you want to represent this football club. So, you know what I mean? We need to just find somewhere to reshuffle Martinelli in the system and just make it work. Right? But back to Julian Alvarez. The situation is this. Julian Alvarez, Arsenal is not his first choice destination. And the fact that Arsenal is not his first choice destination, then Arsenal should be a no choice destination for Julian Alvarez. Let's go for Kopi. You know what I mean? Some fantastic talent that the ceiling is very high for him. And I think he's an already proven Premier League player as well. So it's not like we're getting a nobody or somebody that we have to come and train out to play the Premier League or anything like that. You know what I mean? So those are the situations. Those are the players that we should be looking at, you know, hoping that he wants to be a part of Arsenal. One player that I'm almost sure wants to be a part of Arsenal is a player that we've been linked with all season, people. When I say all season, I mean all season. We've been linked with the likes of Morgan Rogers all season. Before the transfer window even started, we've been linked with Morgan Rogers. My thing is this, how true is this situation? And let me tell you why I question this Morgan Rogers deal. Arsenal is a club that has always been very discreet with their transfer business. Always been very discreet with their transfer business. And the fact that a rumor like this has come out not a week or two before a transfer has happened, several weeks now before transfer talk even start begin. Arsenal has yet even to make a bid for Morgan Rogers. But it has been out there for several weeks now that Arsenal are interested in Morgan Rogers, and Morgan Rogers is Arsenal's #1 target. What are your thoughts on this? It's going to be a very expensive deal, that I'm sure of. It's just me and Doublish conversing in the chat right now, so I'm going to try to make sure that I get in on as soon as I can and make sure that I read what's going on with him. Doublish said Kopi is younger and likely cheaper too. How much would you be happy with us spending on Rogers? I think no more than 100 mil. Ideally, we would get him for 80 to 90 mil. I think he's going to cost us about 100 million. You see how ridiculous these midfielders are going for. You know what I mean? Fernandez from West Ham, Tonali, and all of these midfielders. Even the likes of Anderson, you get what I'm saying? Over 100 mil. So definitely, Aston Villa are going to be looking at that and saying to themselves, hey, guess what? This is a better player. You know, and if he can go for that, then we want this for our player. It's just logic. It's just logic. Unless Arsenal and them have a different understanding and some super good relationship, which I don't know about. You know what I mean? I don't see us playing less than 100 mil for Morgan Rogers at all. It must be more. You know, but as I said, I'm questioning this deal. How true is this deal? How likely will this happen? Arsenal transfer has never been so open with a player. The only player that it has been so open with was Eze. It has been very open with Eze, but then it was just a like. Arsenal have made no bid for Eze until the last minute where they stole him from Tottenham. You understand? So pretty much these are just speculation until Arsenal actually make a bid. They're coming from some top sources as well. You know what I mean? We're not going to go around the fact that they're coming from some top sources. But how true are these information? You know what I mean? Nobody knows. As I said, my speculation is up. My antennas are up. You know what I mean? Because Arsenal have done their business quietly. I think that our technical director is a genius in the transfer market. You know what I'm saying? And if something like that is out there, it's probably he wants it to be out there. And as I mentioned earlier on, it's probably a smoke screen to hide the real target that he's after. Trust me, there's another target, and I know this. There's another target, and we will figure out who that target is very soon. But I think even if they do get Morgan Rogers, it's probably a short thing because Morgan Rogers wants Arsenal. So they probably put that one out there because they know that there's probably no competition for them with Rogers because Rogers only wants the goodness. Chelsea tried to enter the race. Chelsea asked them just to listen to the pitch. Just let us make a pitch to you. And Rogers was no. It's Arsenal. Arsenal. Now we go back to earlier on what we was mentioning with Julian Alvarez. These are the kind of players that we want. Players that want the gunners. Players that want to put on the shirt. Players that want to fight for the badge. This is the kind of Arsenal that we are building and we need to move forward with. Not players that want us as a second choice or as a stepping stone. We're past those stage. You know what I mean? We're past those stage. So yeah, W say, yeah, transfer sums are crazy nowadays. Very, very crazy, man. Very, very crazy. So yeah, that's my take on the Rodgers situation. As I said, even if Arsenal is going to go for Rodgers, I still think that there's another target that Arsenal is concealing, and they're using the Rodgers smokescreen to conceal a target so they can move discreetly and swiftly to make sure that it happens. Arsenal is a discreet club, as I always say to you guys, and any transfer that they're going to do is going to be a secret. You're going to hear it right out of the blue, just like that. Remember, I said it. All right, guys, we move on. Let's see what else we have here to talk about. You know, one thing I want to talk about, I wanted to talk about this England game, and I wanted to talk about Declan Rice. This England game and Declan Rice game. Now, England played. There's so much talking point in this England game, people. There's a lot of things that upset me in this England game. One thing more so that upset me was the fact that this Tottenham, was it a left back or right back that played for England, snub the shaking of Thomas Partey hand. Now, people, football may be a contact sport, and it can also be considered as a rough sport. But football is a sport of men showing respect to each other on and off the field. And the very fact, right, Spence, died Spence. The very fact that that dude, Spence, felt the need to take a situation in his own hand and convict a person that has not been convicted by snubbing, shaking off his hand, that is a disgrace in my book. You know what I mean? Could only be a Tottenham player. You know what I mean? And honestly, it's not cool. It's not cool. That's not the kind of world that we're living in. And football is a respectful sport. You get what I'm saying? It's a respectful sport. You don't know nothing about this person's situation, but you take it up in your hands to condemn this person. Based on what evidence do you have? We do not know. You know what I'm saying? And it is so wide. As Dublish mentioned, I hate that he's not guilty yet, at least. He's not guilty until he's proven guilty. And that is the fact of the whole situation. He's not a guilty person until he's proven guilty. He's a free man playing the sport and enjoying his life just like everybody else. You know what I mean? So it's wrong of you to try to condemn this person based on what? Based on allegations. It's wrong for that. Right? Hakimi has faced charge and no one has taken respect away from him. That's it as well. Hakimi is going to trial for the same thing. But yet still everybody still shows the respect that he needs to get. You know what I'm saying? That dude was wrong. You know what I mean? That dude Spence was wrong. And trust me, we're going to mock in the North London derby. And we're going to make you pay for that. You know what I'm saying? My hats off to Declan Rice. Embracing a fellow compadre. Embracing a fellow friend. Embracing a fellow teammate. Hats off to you, Declan Rice. You get what I'm saying? Hats off to you. You know what I mean? Show the love. Show the love. As I said, a person is innocent until they're proven guilty. That's the law of the land. All right? Thomas Partey was asked about the situation, people. And I have it here what he had to say. You know what I mean? And well played by Thomas Partey as well. You know what I'm saying? Well played by Thomas Partey as well. No time to idle and no time for idlers. You know what I mean? Thomas Partey was asked about the situation. He said, I don't really know the reason. And honestly, that's something only he can answer. I don't want to give it too much attention because football is about respect. You know what I'm saying? Football is about respect. And when you take away the respect from the game, it's no fun. No matter how good or how bad you are as a football player. Football is about respect and focusing on the game. That's what football is about. If there's anything behind it, hopefully he reflect on it himself and understand why he made that decision. As for me, I'm completely fine. I'm completely fine. I have no issue with anyone, and I wish him all the best. That is it. I say focus on my football, my family, and my faith. I serve the living God, and that gives me peace regardless of what happens around me. Those are the words of Thomas Partey. Because Thomas Partey, as I said, you are innocent until you are not. Keep on doing what you're doing, keep on playing your football. That is the whole situation. If you commit a crime, you are going to pay for it. If you're not guilty, then you know what I mean, you will walk free. Okay, so yeah, that's my take on that. You know what I mean? I was just okay. So back to the England game. Watching the England game remind me of watching Arsenal game throughout the season. Watching Arsenal game throughout the season where these teams, they don't come to play, they come to low block and then they try to counter attack. That's what I was watching in this England game. Almost reminded us watching last time. It's like I was almost watching a game that Arsenal played, got frustrated and got a point, and we left just not pleased, just dissatisfied. You know what I mean? Ghana came with a game plan. They did. They came with a fantastic game plan. Their game plan was to frustrate England. Frustrate England. You know what I mean? I look at the starting lineup and I was saying to myself, why? What's going on? Why did the coach choose a starting lineup like that? You know what I mean? Those two wing players, as I said, so much about this game remind me of Arsenal. Those two wing players remind me of when Arteta chose a lineup of Madueke and Martinelli on the two wings. Two fast and furious players that is lack of confidence of finishing in front of the goal. That was what I saw with Gordon and Madueke. Gordon was lost. Totally lost. Anonymous. You know what I'm saying? And so he was also anonymous in the first game. Rashford came on in the first game and he scored a goal and he did well. And I thought that that would be a life for Thomas to choose Rashford instead of Gordon, being that Rashford has shown what he can do in the first fixture. But he didn't. He went ahead with the same lineup. He changed a couple of defenders, and that was it. You know what I mean? And I think Gordon even had a worse game than the last game, to be honest with you. And the situation is this. You have Rashford that came on and scored, came on and make a difference. I understand the situation with Nani. Nani played okay, right? But you could see the difference when Saka came on the field. Saka was a direct force, causing trouble to the goalkeeper. Nani was causing trouble to the defenders. And you can trouble the defenders all day. If you're not troubling the keeper, then you're not making no sense. You get what I'm saying? If you're not troubling the keeper, you're not making no sense. And Nani wasn't troubling the keeper. Nani was just troubling the defenders. The defenders were pick up Nani Madueke. But the keeper was there having a laugh because he was nowhere to be found as far as the keeper is concerned. And that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem. The next problem I have is this. We understand the importance of Declan Rice to this England team. And he's also a very important figure to this Arsenal team. But, and there's a but. Declan Rice has been nursing an injury since Arsenal game. We just know about, right? And he's in this competition now with the same injury. And if you look at Declan Rice, you can see that Declan Rice is falling apart. Declan Rice is literally falling a part right in front of us on the field. And it's like they're literally leaving him on there to just fall apart. Yes, he's a very important player. Yes, he's a very important player. We understand that. But the situation is this. If he cannot play, how is he going to be important? The stream is not completely clear, but it's okay. I don't know what's going on with this internet, man. I don't know what's going on with this internet. Every time I choose to use the StreamYard, it's just a problem. Don't know what's going on with my internet. But anyway, I continue. WS Rice better get rested for next season game as it's pretty much a guarantee win. For the next game, as it's pretty much, I think that he needs to rest. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a guaranteed win because I think Panama gonna play the same way like Ghana did, right? They're gonna do a low block, but in spite of that, Declan Rice should not be included in that game, right? He should not be included in that game. You see that big patch up bandage or whatever it is that he has on his foot, and he was wobbling. He was upping pretty much out of that stadium. You know what I'm saying? He's been run. They're running him to the ground. They are running him to the ground. And you have to understand this. If you put him on because of his injury and he doesn't play well, football is an unforgiving sport. Don't matter if it's Declan Rice or whatever it is. You cause those fans to turn on him, that's a problem. Because if he's not performing, it's going to be a problem as far as the fans are concerned. Rest the player when he needs to be rested so that he can play at his utmost best when he needs to play. That is my take on the situation with Declan Rice. They're running him to the ground and he needs rest. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is funny, but what you guys think about the Ghana voodoo situation? You know what I mean? This person was they were blowing white powder all over the place, all over the place. They said they were going to put an X on Kane that he didn't score. Well, Kane didn't score. I mean, like he had a empty goal in front of him and kicked it way over the mark. And when he did that, he ran right to my head and he went, "Oh, hold on. Didn't this Kane and this Ghana people say they were going to voodoo Kane?" You know what I mean? Believe kill and believe cure. Y'all believe what you want to believe. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I honestly really don't believe in that crap. So yeah, but the situation is this. That's what happened. That's what was going on and all of that shit. Bad video quality. Yeah, Mark. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the internet, but it's just a mess sometimes. Honestly, it is just a mess sometimes. All right, I try to refresh it just now, so I don't know. Let me see how better it gets, if it does. But we're just going to continue. I guess I gotta just avoid streaming it for a little bit until I figure out what's really going on with this internet connection. Whenever I touch StreamYard, it just seems to be going really slow. Bafana. Yes, big up yourself, man. Big up yourself. I've already gave the compliments to South Africa for qualifying for the round 32. You know what I mean? Nobody gave them a chance, Nobody gave them a chance. We all thought that they would have been knocked out based on their performance, how poor they were. You know what I mean? People tend to forget that South Africa hosts the World Cup not so long ago, or probably in some distance ago, however you may look at it. You know what I mean? But they host the World Cup, And the situation was that they never made it out of the group stage. You know, in their own country, hosting the tournament, they did not make it out of the group stage. Now, fast forward to 2026, they are now out of the group stage, and that's a fantastic achievement. You could see the celebration; they were happy, man. It was a good scene. It was delighted, and I mean, it was fun. So yeah. Where is Matty? Said we getting knocked in the group. Well, Mark, even you said you were getting knocked in the group. Remember? Even you said that. So everybody thought, based on your performance, that it was pretty much done and dusted for you guys. You guys were not playing good. You guys did not look very well, and that was the truth of the whole situation. That was the truth of the whole situation. So yeah, um, fantastic performance by um, Ghana to not Ghana by South Africa today. I mean, they were the better team also on the day, so they deserve to be where they are. I think I'll face Canada next. So let's see. You know, yeah. What else did I have here? What else did I have here for us to talk about? Yes, I did talk about Thomas Partey situation, the Julian Alvarez transfer rumors, I mean, and all of that. So yeah, these are some of the talking points that we have failed to talk about. The transfer window has been open, as I mentioned before, and we are yet to register a single transfer to Arsenal Football Club. But no one thing though, when we do it, it's gonna come in bulk. It's gonna come in bond. It's gonna come a lot. So I'm looking forward to having all my transfer almost through the door at once. You know what I mean? And it's a situation where we need some covers in certain places. We need some covers. Declan Rice don't look like he's gonna start this season. He needs rest. He needs time off. He needs to heal. William Saliba the same, and Saka the same. So those three players are three automatic starters for Arsenal Football Club, and they don't look like they're going to be ready for the beginning of the season. So we need proper reinforcement. Now Madueke is doing a job, I mean, not quite as a job that Saka would have done, but he's stopping a gap. Put it that way, he's stopping a gap. We need Saliba replacement, which could be Mosquera. So I still think we're kind of covered there. Where we are short is Declan Rice replacement. That's the one that we really need to look into and get sorted out. Declan Rice is a very important player for us. And if we don't allow him to heal and rest, we are going to lose him for a longer time, which we're not trying to make happen. So we need to bring in a proper replacement that can fill that gap without us missing Declan Rice too much. You know what I mean? Tonali name has been rumored around. A lot of name has been rumored around. You know what I mean? A lot of name has been rumored around. But who is it going to be? Who will it be? You know what I mean? Is Miles Lewis Kelly ready for that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. But they need to figure it out and let us know what is the plan for the beginning of the season if Declan Rice are. We know that Declan Rice will not be available based on what's going on with him right now. And I mean, I think he's one of the players that has played the most football this season and still going at it in this World Cup. So, guys, let me know what's your thought on Declan Rice and this predicament, this situation that he's in as far as his health is concerned and coming back to the Premier League for Arsenal Football Club. Me personally, any of my players that are on international duty playing, and it's going to cause a problem for me and my club when the season reopens, that need to cut. You know what I mean? That need to cut. You know what I mean? We have a whole 9 months, I think, of season to contend with. You know what I mean? And this is just a month worth of work. It's probably very selfish of me because every player dream is to play in the World Cup. That's every player to play in the World Cup. But guess what? I'm an Arsenal fan. You know what I mean? And I want to win the league again. I want to go for more trophies. And I need my best players to do that for me. That's what I need. You know, so if my players are not fit enough to play in this World Cup, they need to send them home and call their replacement. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Secure your future and make sure that you're ready for the beginning of the season. Yes. With that being said, my team, Brazil, has scraped through. And I say it's scraped through, even though they're top of the table, very better on goal difference and all of that. They're scoring goals and they're winning games. But I cannot recognize this team. I do not recognize the team that I'm seeing in front of me scoring these goals and winning this game. This is not the Brazil that I'm used to. This is not the Samba Brazil that I grew up loving, supporting, you know what I mean, and tried to imitate when I was playing football in my younger days. This is not the kind of Brazil that I know. You know what I mean? They have changed a lot, and I do not like it. I don't like it. I need them to go back to where I used to watch and enjoy. You know what I mean? No skills, no this, no. They're not fluent. They're not fluent. It was good to see Neymar making his debut. They said after 960-something days. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's almost. That can't be right now. They're talking about the World Cup. I think they're talking about the World Cup. Must be the World Cup. I don't know. But yeah, Neymar was just playing for Santos the other day, or whatever club he's playing for in Brazil. So yeah, I need to read that to get the proper understanding of what that figure is for. But Neymar is back. Happy. I'm happy. I was delighted to see Neymar back. You know what I mean? He doesn't look fit. He doesn't look at his best. But nevertheless, just to see him on the pitch was good. You know what I mean? It was good. It was very, very good. So, yeah. But I am waiting for my Brazil to get back to the Samba way, the Samba football that we have grown to love. You know what I mean? The World Cup didn't start coming until Brazil play. But that's not the Brazil that I'm waiting on. So it's like the World Cup hasn't started coming yet. I'm still waiting to see Brazil play. Because that's not Brazilian football. That what they're playing is not Brazilian football. And as I said, I do not like it one bit. I need to see my team back to being my team. All right? And that is it. But these are some of the things that we needed to talk about as far as football and transfer is concerned. Also, we are closing in on the teenage sensation 16-year-old Mongra. I think Arsenal and Leicester has reached an agreement. Just probably finalizing some stuff. They don't want to go to the tribunal. They're just, you know what I mean? And I think Arsenal is willing to pay Leicester the proper valuation of the player. So, yeah. Arsenal are doing some smart business. Chelsea was the one that started this, buying up teenagers and grooming them and selling them and making a profit if they don't make it to the first team. And we see where Arsenal is doing the same, buying up a lot of teenagers, you know what I mean, grooming them. And I mean, hopefully the best one makes the team, and the one that don't make the team, we still get a shitload of money for them. You know what I mean? Because we're still doing business. So, yeah. Transfer rumors, those are what's going on. There's been rumors circulating that Martin Odegaard might be on his way out. I don't know how true that is. I've not heard anything concrete about that from any of the big media sources. So, yeah, and I've not heard anything at all from Arsenal pertaining to that situation. You know, Martin Odegaard is having a fantastic World Cup, and he's playing well. They are through to the run of 32. You know what I mean? Alan is on 4 goals, looking to compete for the Golden Boot if they stay in the competition. So there's tons going on right now. So, yeah, no distraction. I don't think the captain wants that right now. As I said, my only thing is this. I think he needs to be stripped of the captain and focus on the football. And Declan Rice going to be Arsenal captain going into next season. That's just my take. That's my opinion. That's what I would want. What the club would want and what the club is going to do is a whole different story. You know what I mean? But I think Martin Odegaard will play better if all that pressure is off him. I'm just saying. Declan Rice welcomes that pressure. So give it to him. Let him have it. With that being said, people, we are about to call it a wrap. You know what I mean? We are about to call it a wrap. We appreciate everybody that's been here. Thank you guys so much for your comments. Thank you for being a part of the stream. And we will do this again tomorrow. We have a watch along tomorrow as usual, at least one watch along a day. I'm trying to make sure that that happens. I think we're probably going to do the German game tomorrow. Yeah. So I think that's about the 3 o'clock game. I think that's the one that we're going to do tomorrow, and then we're going to probably do another Arsenal stream in the night, probably around this time. And yeah, so that's how we're going to start to try to do this nowadays, just to move forward. So appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you guys for making it right as well. And we will see you